Michael Schumacher hit.
Hello and welcome. Nice to have your company wherever you're watching us right around Australia. This, of course, the Monaco Grand Prix, one of the real glamour events of the world. As you can see, beautiful days. We take you down to the pits with Mika Hakkinen, deeply involved in his discussion. And that's why Monaco is such a beautiful place. And AJ, this is a special Grand Prix. I know it's a track that many people say is probably the cars have outgrown this circuit, but it's a wonderful, wonderful atmosphere.
Well, the cars outgrew it about 25 years ago, but unfortunately it's a little bit hard to shift buildings and gutters and so forth. It is the glamour Grand Prix of the year, there's no doubt about that. It's probably the Grand Prix that all the drivers would most want to win, and I was certainly one of them. But most of the drivers don't particularly like it as a circuit because it is very slow, it's very twisty, it's very hard to pass. If you get somebody in front of you that really doesn't want you to pass, he can keep you there for forever.
Well, that was a place where I actually first met you, and those days you were driving with the Lola team, which is a team you'd probably rather forget, but it was a very forgettable weekend all round. All right, let's have a look at some of the features of this track using the Monaco Grand Prix Racing Simulator 2 from Ubisoft. Now, let's just have a look at this section, AJ.
Well, this is the section past the start-finish line and going to the quick right-hander after the start-finish line. There's always a shunt here. Now, the reason why I picked this, if you look at the black lines going up the hill, a lot of people don't realise, A, how steep the hill is, B, how twisty it is. There really is only one line up there, going into the quick left-hander, the Casino Square, then down into a right-hander, which is very off-camber. Here it is again from a higher view. Have a look at the black strips going up the hill, and you can see it is impossible for two cars to go up there side by side because you have to go right, left, left. You've literally got to scrape the Armco left, right, going up the hill to get up there flat. So obviously if there's two cars, you can't do that because there's been many two drivers come unstuck trying to get up that hill side by side.
One spot there where you come over the top, there's a tree, and I know the drivers keep it sort of fertilised and looked after because it's really where they come over the top, they aim for that tree before they head downhill.
It's a blind spot, and it's a pity the camera didn't go a little bit further because as you go into the Casino Square, there's a fabulous right-hander immediately after that, which is a very adverse camber. And the car goes very light and the back comes out and the cars exit there sideways with opposite lock-on. And to stand near the Armco while all that's going on is very frightening. I know that I broke down in one of the practice sessions and I was walking back and saw the cars coming through and I thought, bloody hell, I don't do that, do I? It was frightening.
All right, frightening it was in qualifying too. Predictable it may be. Let's have a look at the highlights. Here's Peter Nugent.
McLaren's Mika Hakkinen drove a brilliant lap to snatch a controversial pole position in the dying seconds of qualifying. Damon Hill's Jordan broke down just as the Finn flew around the twisting Monaco streets. Hakkinen acknowledged the yellow flags with a wave, but was still quick enough to knock Schumacher from first place.
And I think it was brilliant in the session. Easy for me to say that now because I'm sitting here in the middle. And, you know, great effort from the team, fabulous.
The Ferraris, having set the pace all weekend, were so displeased when McLaren got its nose in front, they protested. The stewards quickly dismissed the complaint. So Schumacher had to settle for second. And to further sour the Italian team's joy, Coulthard pushed Irvine out of third place on the grid. A consistent Rubens Barrichello, third in the San Marino Grand Prix, put his steward forward in fifth position.
Well, there you are, no real surprises. Mika Hakkinen again on pole position, but not very much in front of Michael Schumacher. All that was done in the last 50 seconds. Coulthard got in front of Irvine in those last 50 seconds as one. Barrichello continues to go well in fifth. Frentzen in sixth. Truly a good result for him. He won here a couple of years ago. Villeneuve 8th, Fisichella 9th, Wirtz 10th, Zanardi 11th, Mika Salo 12th. Johnny Herbert down in 13th, Alesi, Deniz, Ralph Schumacher 16th, Damon Hill, the two Jordans not going very well there, Olivia Panis 18th, Takagi, Badois, De La Rosa and Genet in 22nd.
Right, well, the cars, as you can see, are out on the parade lap now, so we'll get through the points of interest pretty quickly. A date has been announced for the US Grand Prix at Indianapolis. Now, the subject for ratification from the FIA and FOCA, the governing bodies of Formula One, the race will take place on September 24, the year 2000. We'll have an interview with Tony George that I've recorded. We'll probably show that next time round for you. Very interesting what they're going to do there. More changes to the calendar in 2002 with the news that 2 races will be changing venues. Bernie Eccleston is awarded the contract for the British Grand Prix to Brands Hatch Leisure away from Silverstone and the British Racing Drivers Club. Now, this move has been forecast for some time, with a war of words starting last year between the two circuit managers. Brands Hatch has not hosted a Grand Prix since 1986 and will be modernised and revised to the tune of $30 million. AJ, I know that's an idea that doesn't worry you too much. You won at Brands Hatch.
Well, they used to alternate. It used to be Silverstone one year, Brands Hatch the next, and then they decided to give it to Silverstone full-time for reasons best known to themselves. Brands Hatch is a fabulous circuit. It's closer to London. It's in a very picturesque part of England in Kent. No, I'm very happy it's going back there.
Yeah, sounds good. Now, still on Bernie Ecclestone, he's also been rumoured to have bought the Paul Ricard circuit. German TV station RTL has reported that the FOA head will spend many millions upgrading the track. Now, the Paul Ricard circuit, like Brands Hatch, a lot of changes there, and you've won there as well.
That's right. It's a great circuit. It's not far from the circuit we're watching now. It's just up the road from Monaco. It's just outside of Marseille. It's actually on top of a mountain. Paul Ricard, the guy that makes Ricard drinks, it's an aniseed drink or whatever it is, he flattened the top of the mountain and put a circuit there. It's a great circuit.
The Ecclestone empire just continues. Now, a win tonight for Michael Schumacher will be even more special than usual. Victory here will make him the most winning Ferrari driver ever, with 16 victories for the team. He's currently tied on 15 victories with Niki Lauda, also one of the greats, of course, in the red cars. And we'll probably now take you straight over there, I think. We'll come back with some other points of interest throughout the race, because this start, always interesting. Here's Murray Walker and Martin Brundle.
They know they've got to get over to the right-hand side as quickly as possible. Frentzen too. And that means you just get that little bit less grip off the line. You've got to turn the car sooner or later.
Fingers crossed, everybody. They're all in position. One light, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go, 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 go. And Hakkinen pulls across. Schumacher gets right up alongside him as they go. Schumacher leads. Schumacher, an absolutely sensational start by Michael Schumacher. Gets him ahead of Mika Hakkinen. Eddie Irvine has got ahead of David Coulthard. So it is Ferrari, McLaren, and nobody expected that so quickly. So Michael Schumacher now with a clear track in front of him, the man who is leading the World Championship from Eddie Irvine, his teammate, by 4 points, round the Grand Hotel corner, down to the Portier, then from the Portier through the tunnel. Everybody seems to have got away cleanly.
Virtually stationary there in the hairpin, and we know that Schumacher has been testing his starts in Fiorano since the last race. Dirty side of the track or not, both Ferraris getting away very well. And then Michael Schumacher braking later into turn 1, as did Eddie Irvine. Ferrari have the upper hand, and in my view, that Ferrari is a faster car in race trim. I think the front end of the car's better, they've got better traction, less wheel spin, and that is the perfect scenario for Ferrari and Michael Schumacher.
Sure is, and Rubens Barrichello in the Stewart Ford is in 5th position, ahead of Heinz Harald Frentzen in the Jordan, the first of the Jordans. Michael Schumacher opening up a bit of a gap between himself and Mika Hakkinen.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see how far they go to the first stop. I think some of these cars are going to be well into the 40-odd laps before they need to make a pit stop. And it seems the way the two Ferraris got away so well, they could just be on a lighter fuel load in an attempt to get into that first corner first. If so, it's working. It'll show up. If Schumacher has to pit in the 40s and the McLarens can go further into the race, then we'll see the fuel load they've got. But at the moment, it works best. Look, Hakkinen locks his front brakes. Irvine too, all looking a bit hairy in there. Somehow they all fell into line, and no tears at the first corner.
So Frentzen in the yellow car, followed by Jarno Trulli in the Frost in 7th position. Then it's Fisichella. Jacques Villeneuve in the BAR is in 9th position, ahead of Alex Zanardi in the Williams. Michael Schumacher then out of the chicane. He's exactly where he wants to be. As Martin said, they went back to Fiorano in Italy the day before yesterday from Monte Carlo to practice starts and pit stops. Now, they're all on a one-stop strategy. I'm pretty sure of that, because you can't afford to stop here twice at Monaco. And last year, the earliest stop we had was Fisichella, who finished second. He stopped on lap 31. And on lap 54, the latest stop was Jacques Villeneuve, who finished fifth in the Williams. And as a matter of interest, Mika Häkkinen, the McLaren race winner last year, as you look at Eddie Irvine ahead of David Coulthard, stopped on lap 37. So whichever way it is, we've got a long way now for things to get really established. And Michael Schumacher really piling on the pace. Past this lap already, 1 minute 25.15. And that is 2 seconds off the fastest lap last year.
Yes, and the noise is incredible. I can barely hear you talking up here, Murray. Absolutely incredible as they stream down the pit straight. But Michael Schumacher looking absolutely invincible at the front there. As you said, a half a second quicker than Häkkinen and 1.5 seconds faster than Irvine and David Coulthard, streaming away at the front.
So the gaps now, as you see, Barrichello go through the tunnel and now down to the chicane. That's David Coulthard's McLaren. He's in fourth position, so it's still Ferrari, McLaren, then Barrichello, Stewart, Frenson's Jordan. Damon Hill is still in 17th position. He hasn't made up any time.
Yes, I think another important point is that the only driver to have finished all 3 races so far this year in the entire field is Michael Schumacher. The Ferrari has had tremendous reliability for some time now.
And he's a triple winner. Michael Schumacher won in 94 and 95 for Benetton. He had that absolutely spellbinding victory for Ferrari in 1997, and he's right on the top of his form. Ferrari have been working so hard on this car since their excellent car of 1998 was put away, and they've got it absolutely right. McLaren had the edge when the season started, although Eddie Irvine, of course, won in Australia for Ferrari. And Schumacher and Ross Brawn and Rory Byrne and everyone else at Ferrari have put together a superb package. Now, what's happening behind? There's quite a battle, but behind Rubens Barrichello, Heinz-Harald Frentzen in 6th position has got Jarno Trulli right behind him. Now, we're looking at Marc Genet. That's a bit of plastic attaching himself to the aerial on his car. He won't be able to do anything about it. He can't reach forward and pull it off.
No, he can't actually. His seat belts, that the shoulder straps will be way too tight to get that far forward, but I suspect the Airstream will do that job for him.
So, David Coulthard. Now, let's watch David Coulthard, and you can see how they have to be absolutely millimetre perfect on their line here. If you put a wheel on a curb and... Oh, that is Damon Hill and Ralf Schumacher in the chicane. So, Damon has spun.
Yes, look, Damon's coming in. He gets nipped by Ralf. Don't think Ralf saw him coming. Damon's car's going absolutely no further. It's got a wheel hanging off, as you saw. The engine is stalled. It's got to clear that car away because it's blocking the racetrack. We may see the safety car. Depends. The marshals do work very, very fast here. And look, Schumacher's got half a lap to go before he comes across that incident. And the marshal's got to get a trolley underneath that yellow Jordan, get it out of the way. Or if they've got a crane on that corner, they can just hoist it out. But at the moment, the track was blocked, although, of course, as you saw, 2 cars did go straight across the chicane. There's no penalty there as long as you don't make up a place.
Now, Heinz-Harald Frentzen nearly went into Zanardi's car. Well done,
yeah,
well done, lads. They've got it out of the way.
Oh,
just as Schumacher arrives. That was a very nifty bit of marshalling. They're very, very good indeed here. So 3.3 seconds. Do you hear that? 3.3 seconds. And Häkkinen is speeding up. Häkkinen has gone fastest in the first of the 3 sectors, which this lap is divided up into. He's gone faster than he's been before in the second sector. Mika Häkkinen on lap 5 out of 78 is starting to challenge Michael Schumacher. He cannot afford to let the Ferrari get away, because later on, when they start coming in to take on new tyres and more fuel, if they come out amid the traffic, it can close the gaps more here than anywhere else. So, coming up the Beau Rivage, Schumacher, Häkkinen, Irvine. There is Häkkinen going round the Hotel de Paris, and you will see later on in this race that Michael Schumacher has